What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. Y'all hit that like button as y'all come on in. We live. We live and direct, baby. I'm glad to be back on here with y'all once again. I feel like I've been away for too long already, but no worries. We back. We back. We back again. We back. We back. We back. My son coming in here trying to play with me. So yeah. Um, what's happening, y'all? Saw an interesting quote from Mr. Ray Lewis, Hall of Famer Ray Lewis, discussing his former teammate, the Hall of Fame tight end Shannon Sharpe. We gonna talk about it, man, but I want to wait till y'all come on in here. Y'all hit the like button for me as y'all come on in. It really helps me out in the YouTube algorithm. So y'all please hit the like button as y'all come on in. And I want to chop it up with y'all for a quick little minute, man. You know, we got a little extended weekend because of the holiday. So, hey man, we got some stuff to talk about. We got a little time on our hands to really have some conversations about some stuff. Stephen B, man, what's going down? He said, what's good, Mac, who don't do crack? That is a fact. We out here rhyming all the way around. Freeze pop, Bobby. Freeze pop, boy. I used to eat the freeze pops all the time in the summertime in Chicago, man. What's going on? What's happening? TT baby, what's going on? What's up, y'all? I'm glad to see y'all in here, man. We only almost 2 minutes in. We got 20 people in here. That's a good sign. It's a good sign that we're gonna have a nice little audience today. Got college football going on. I missed the Texas and Ohio State game, but it looked like it was kind of underwhelming, unless it was just some hellacious defense being played. Neither quarterback, Saying nor Arch Manning, looked like they was like doing anything just extraordinary. So maybe it was just a defensive game. I'm not sure. But I missed the game between Texas and Ohio State. But I saw Ohio State won the game. KJ said the game was very sloppy. I was thinking that, right? When I saw the score, I saw statistics, I'm like, if it was either defense or it was a sloppy game all the way around, sloppy game, but Ohio State got the win. I'm sure they happy about that, even though I'm sure they wanted to obliterate Texas, because Arch Manning been getting a lot of the praise. The limelight has been on him, and I'm sure they want to shut that noise up. They got the win. Arch Manning had what, 120 some yards? What he had, 130 yards, something like that. Maybe, no, 170 yards, 130. How many yards did he have? I'm forgetting how many yards he had, but I know he had one touchdown, one interception. But anyway, we're gonna get to the topic in about 2 more minutes. We're gonna talk about the topic of this video. Ray Lewis saying that Shannon Sharpe basically sold out, and that's why him and Shannon no longer speak to each other. We're gonna analyze all of that. I'm gonna discuss whether that is the reason why they don't speak for real. Because I beg to differ. I think otherwise. I really don't think that's the reason why Shannon Sharpe and Ray Lewis fell out. All right, so we got 30 people in here. Let's get to it. So the Patrick Bet David podcast, PBD podcast. Ray Lewis comes on there and he makes an appearance. Patrick Bet David asks Ray Lewis about his former teammate, Shannon Sharpe. And he asks Ray Lewis, did you ever foresee Shannon being on TV and having a career like this? Like, did you see this happening? Did you see that he would be on TV and be a great TV personality? Ray Lewis is like, nah, he knew it was going to happen. He saw him being like that. He knew he had the type of personality to be on TV, and Shannon was already making moves to be in that position. Like, Shannon was already eyeing that and aspiring to be on television and to be in the broadcasting realm, right? Now, the conversation took a turn when he was like, well, I'm not surprised, but I'm shocked. And he basically said that Shannon sold out. And for lack of better words, he was like, basically Shannon has sold out into worldly things. And he's become worldly and he's just doing whatever's popular in order for clicks and views, right? And doing a lot of gossiping and all this and all of that. And he was just like, he didn't like, in so many words, he didn't like the direction that Shannon was going in with his podcasting and his broadcasting. Therefore, him and Shannon, he's distanced himself from Shannon. Him and Shannon don't speak, and he's distanced himself from Shannon because of Shannon becoming more worldly and changing up and switching up. Patrick Bet-David then asked Ray Lewis, what do you mean by that? In what ways? And he said, well, when I knew Shannon coming up, Shannon didn't touch a drink. It was almost like it was against his religion to drink, right? Now you see him drinking. Well, Shannon, I still don't think Shannon drinks a lot to this day at all. He drinks on the show to sell his liquor, Le Portier. He got into the liquor selling business or whatever, but I still don't think Shannon is a drunk or get down and just drink. I think he do a little sip taste for the show, and that's about it. And he can't, in order to sell liquor, even if you not a big liquor drinker, you got to act like you are, right? Curtis 50 Cent Jackson is an individual that everybody know don't really drink liquor, but 50 will act like, well, I think 50 kind of say he don't steal to this day, but 50 probably sips something to sell that liquor of his, right? And he like, he's basically using that example that Shannon does some drinking now, and Shannon did not drink when he was a player. He like, that's an example that he sold out. And he said, I saw Shannon. I'm like, oh, you doing that? That's what you're doing now? That's what you're doing now? Let me separate myself. Y'all, let me just say this, man. All fraternity bros are weird. I'm a fraternity brother. I'm not a weirdo. So I wouldn't call Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. a weirdo, bro. He's in a fraternity. You know what I mean? You get me? So it's hey, it's weirdos in a lot of different avenues. So speaking of that, you said fraternity and all of that. Let's get to it. Because the genesis of Shannon Sharpe and Ray Lewis's problems came due to my fraternity brother, Colin Kaepernick. That's where all of this comes back to. This don't got nothing to do with Shannon becoming more worldly, because Ray is saying like he's godly and he is of God, and Shannon is becoming worldly and he can't be around that. He had to separate himself from that. No. What happened was when Colin Kaepernick first started the protesting by taking a knee, Ray Lewis was one of those individuals acting like he was against it and he wasn't for it, and acting like he didn't really understand it, and was he was giving pushback to Colin Kaepernick taking a knee, from what I remember, right? Shannon Sharpe went out and he spoke against Ray being like that. Even though Ray is his former teammate, Ray and Shannon were like this. They were super close, right? When Ray got in trouble for that incident with the knife situation, right? Shannon Sharpe was housing Ray. Not saying that Ray needed somewhere, like he needed somewhere to stay, but Ray needed moral support. Shannon Sharpe was Ray Lewis's moral support when he was going through that situation, you know, with the stabbing incident, right? When somebody ended up unalived. He was staying in Shannon Sharpe's house. Shannon Sharpe was taking Ray Lewis to court all the time. Okay, they were thick as thieves. The problem came into play when Ray Lewis acted like he was going against Colin Kaepernick, and Shannon Sharpe called him out about that. Then the next thing we know, after Ray Lewis is acting like he was against Colin Kaepernick's kneeling and all of that, we see Ray Lewis out on the field kneeling, just on both of his knees. Something that he was speaking out against at first. He was speaking out against kneeling and so on and so forth. Then we see Ray Lewis on both of his knees on a football field, right? And Shannon Sharpe talked about it, and he said, now I love Ray, but watch this. He said, Ray finna say he was praying. He said, I bet you Ray say he was praying now, but I don't agree with this from Ray. And because he knows why Colin Kaepernick is kneeling, so on and so forth, and he didn't agree with his stance. After that, Shannon Sharpe and Ray Lewis's relationship went into thin air. Ray Lewis came on FS1 Undisputed, getting into like a back and forth with Shannon, and was upset that Shannon would call him out. He got upset about it. He thought Shannon would ride with him or maybe not talk about it. But Shannon was in a difficult position, not difficult position. He's on TV. And the Colin Kaepernick protests, it was the talk of the town. So there was no avoiding having that conversation. And whether that was his former teammate or not, Shannon Sharpe gave his honest assessment of it. And he said he didn't agree with Ray Lewis standing against Colin Kaepernick and basically standing against the kneeling and all of that. And then you go out and kneel after you said you was against it. And he said, man, now Ray finna try to deny it and say he was praying. And they got into it about that. That's where their that is where their friction comes from, 100%. And somebody just gave me a donation to the Cash App. Oh man, my brother Tony, man, I appreciate the donation, brother. That mean a lot to me, boss. I appreciate the Cash App donation, man. I appreciate that too, man, because when y'all donate on Cash App, you know, I get the money, and YouTube be trying to take a nice little percentage of the money that I generate on here, you know. So I appreciate it for real, bro. Mean a lot to me. But anyway, I appreciate any donation anybody give me though, for real. But you know, YouTube gonna try to cuff some of that paper too. But anyway, Cully say Ray Lewis, one of those Bible thumping black men, which with extremely shaky past. And yes, after Ray got into that situation where the man got unalived due to a stabbing, Ray changed his image up to godly, God-fearing, praying all the time. And that is what look, I'm a God-fearing man. All the way through and through. I'm a praying man, I'm a Christian, all of that. But what I didn't like is when people like Ray, when Colin Kaepernick was protesting police brutality, Ray was out here talking about black on black crime, talking about, what's going on in the black community. What about he was doing the what about Chicagoism? What about Chicago? Ray was doing that type of stuff, okay, around that time. And he was leaning on Bible verses to preach about what about Chicago and black on black violence. And that's what I didn't like. You can be a God-fearing man. You could be a man that, is religious and you're spiritual, etc. But don't do it. Don't lean on the Bible to throw your people under the bus at a time when we're all supposed to be on code and talking about injustices faced at the hands of police brutality, because that was the situation at the time. You know what I'm saying? And but anyway, Ray, he was going against Colin Kaepernick, and Shannon called it out, and they ain't been the same since then, for real. So now Ray has to figure out a way to say, why him and Shannon ain't cool. Why? So now I'm gonna say, well, he be sipping liquor now. He be talking about people personal business. He changed up, he switched up, and all of that, and that's why, he's trying to be worldly now. I'm not a worldly man. Ray is saying, oh, I'm a man of the not man of the cloth. Man of the cloth means you're a pastor. But basically he was saying he's godly, he's God-fearing, and Shannon is trying to be worldly, and he cannot stand next to that. But it's like, bro, I don't agree with that, because yeah, you and Shannon had y'all disagreement about the Colin Kaepernick situation, but to do that, not to the dude that was there for you for moral support at a time people thought you was finna go to jail, right? Like to this day, people still call Ray all type of names for that situation that happened where that man got unalived. Shannon was your moral support. Yeah, he was staying with he was staying with Shannon when he was going to court. Shannon was taking him to court every day, right? So to do that on a Patrick Bet-David show, and me and him separated because he's become worldly and all of that. Jason Whitlock, he loved that. He ate that content up, literally and figuratively. You know what I'm saying? He ate that up because he like, oh yeah, you switching up on your boy, because Jason Whitlock hates Shannon Sharpe guts, because Shannon used to speak a rhetoric that he didn't like as far as it pertains to police brutality and racism in America, etc. And Jason Whitlock, you know, the ultra MAGA conservative, he didn't like anybody taking the side of Black Americans during, you know, when we talk about discussions regarding police brutality and systemic racism and um um what else? Racial oppression, etc. Right? So yeah, Windsor say Ray got awfully religious after the beating the case and still having kids out of wedlock. Now I'm gonna say that too, because I wonder. I look, man. I'm an individual that has children out of wedlock, so I can't clown anybody for that, right? But for Ray to be acting like Ray act like he is just on a pedestal because the way he made it sound like Shannon's worldly and he's not. And I'm like, well, Ray, are you still out here getting your freak on like you used to be? Because Ray got kids from a lot of different women. I don't know about a lot, several though, several different women, though, several. You know, and I'm like, hey, Ray, did you stop getting your freak on like you used to do? Did you stop, you know, did you stop laying in them sheets with them women like that? The way you making it sound like you are the man of the cloth and Shannon is the opposite. He trying to frame it like he is of God and Shannon is not. And I don't like this whole like trying to create a juxtaposition like Shannon is not godly and I am. I don't like that. You know, because at one point, Ray, people was looking at you like you was foul out here. You know, people was looking at you like, hey, you wilding out. So you got to remember your past. But what tends to happen is when brothers get off in certain situations like that, when they get off and they don't go to jail, they feel like they got to take this super high moral ground. And now they have to like shun other folks for a lot of other things. Now they got to be on this super, their moral compass is just completely wired a whole different way now. And everybody else is, you know, that doesn't follow what they following or follow things in a way that they're following. They just bad. They're the bad people. It's like, bro, don't exactly, Cully. Don't weaponize God on people. I don't like that. I don't like that. And I feel like Ray is trying to weaponize God by trying to make it, he's framing it like Shannon is of something. He's trying to frame it like Shannon is not of God, and he is. Shannon is out here following the devil's word, and he's not. Like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. Like, you was in a whole situation, bro, when a man had a life taken. And I'm not saying people can't be forgiven. I'm not saying that people don't change their ways. I'm not saying that people can't repent or whatever. But come on, bro. Come on. Like, yeah, I was looking at them side-eye. And Stephen B said both Ray and Shannon be on their BS. Yeah, and I've gotten on Shannon about sitting down with people like, what's the boy name? Barstool Sports guy. What is his name? Dave Portnoy. And I felt like people say, well, Dave ain't racist. He's just a sports fan. And I know Dave giving out them checks to people and all of that, but I feel like Dave has a lot of anti-Black rhetoric that he spews consistently. Shannon had him on a podcast. What for? I don't know. Right? Unless you trying to get some of that Dave Portnoy paper and go over there to Barstool at some point. I don't know. Right? And so I sometimes sitting down with like Amber Rose for what? For what? Another person who was quick to champion MAGA, quick to perpetuate negative stereotypes of Black folks or try to make it seem like Black folks just being followers, you know, by not liking MAGA and not supporting Donald Trump. When those same individuals, Amber Rose, who you supporting and you riding out for, they would have called you every name in the book for that slut walk you used to do, Amber Rose. They would have called you every slur and every the whore of Babylon. They would have called you all of them names when you did that walk that you did, right? But now they love you to death, Amber, because you're speaking for their cause. But had Amber Rose been on the side of the Democrats, they would have called her every name under the sun. They would have called her a Jezebel and way worse than that. But Shannon sat down with her. I'm like, why are you speaking to Amber for? She ain't nobody. Like, she not nobody like profound in the community to even be like, what the, come on. What do Amber do that we want to sit down and talk to her about? I'm sorry. I know that sounds pretty harsh, but what does Amber Rose do to make you want to have a conversation with her? I don't get that. But anyway, so I've pushed back against those things that Shannon has done. I've also spoke about Shannon um getting gamed by that young girl. And Shannon needed to recognize him making smarter decisions as it pertains to messing with women and when you got something to lose. And I also did not like the fact that the young girl was like, she wanted a big black baby to be put in her. It sounded like Shannon was engaging in some type of race play, and I didn't agree with that, you know. But yeah, but this whole situation with Ray Lewis in particular, man. Ray out here, he out here acting like he holier than thou and acting like he just on a pedestal. When once again, Shannon know what really happened probably with you that day and what really happened that night. Y'all got accused. You got accused of unaliving that man, you know. And Shannon probably could go at him and say all type of crazy stuff. I hope he doesn't, you know. But yeah, to act like I'm distancing myself from him because he's worldly and I'm not. No, that ain't why. Ray got embarrassed that Shannon called him out on TV about him out here pushing back against Colin Kaepernick. And he never recovered from that. Their relationship never recovered. He felt hurt. And because Shannon was making valid points about Ray Lewis and the stance he took against Colin Kaepernick, and there was a lot of black folks that were supporting what Shannon Sharpe had said on FS1 Undisputed regarding Ray Lewis going against Colin Kaepernick. At the time, Shannon was smoking hot on television. He was hot off the press. This was at the very beginning of Shannon Sharpe's career, or the very beginning of Shannon Sharpe's tenure at Fox Sports 1. So Shannon was smoking hot. He was hot off the press. Everybody was paying attention to everything he was saying. He felt the way that, man, my old teammate is raking me, is basically holding you accountable for things that you're saying, and people are agreeing with it. And he's saying it on his popular show with Skip Bayless. So he felt embarrassed. And that's why him and Shannon fell out. It ain't because of no Shannon is not worldly. Shannon is worldly now. And Shannon is, he's different now. And he's basically sold out. Nah, it ain't none of that. It ain't none of that. So he can go on with that all the way through and through. He can definitely go on with that. He said Ray Lewis been yeah, man. I looked at that and I said, Ray tripping. Ray tripping. And Ray knows that ain't the reason why they don't talk no more. But people like Jason Whitlock, they eating it up. See, Shannon Sharpe is not the same individual. He's not, and that's why he's not even friends with Ray Lewis. Man, Ray, get up out of here. Yeah, so yeah, and I remember when all that happened, I was so upset with Ray because Ray was one of my favorite players growing up. Ray Lewis, I loved Ray Lewis as a football player. For real. Hold on 1 second, yeah. This talking about marriage in the black community when he has 4 baby mamas. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Ray talking from this high vantage point, and what I knew Ray got, yeah, I thought he'd be about at least 4, 5 baby mamas. So to be talking like you just holier than thou and all of that, I'm looking like, is Ray still a freak? Way he talking like, yeah, like I just thought that was crazy. I remember like Ray got babies at the wazoo from all different women, So to be acting like I'm just such on a moral high ground and I'm of God and Shannon's not, that's a weird stance to take for real. And I know I'm being repetitive in these stances, but it's crazy. He said Ray went against Cap, but he did go against those cops that drove Dylan Roof to Burger King after what he did at the church. For sure, right? 100%. And I can definitely see that because, Ray, uh, let me stop. Because hold on, not to mention that incident. So people say a lot of people say he got away with that. You know, Windsor say, my bad for the late reply, but Ray act holier than thou like his ish don't stink. Well, I know you like to think yo ish don't stink, but what do you say? Roses really smell like boo boo. Ooh, yeah. And Charlie X, that's a great observation. He said you could tell it wasn't the same when Ray made his first appearance back on Undisputed after Shannon called him out. Yes, Ray was visibly furious with Shannon. Ray was visibly upset with Shannon. Ray was he was way more emotional than I normally see him be. Because he felt the way because Shannon Sharpe, one of the biggest personalities on TV, and his friend took an opposing side against him regarding the Colin Kaepernick situation. And he couldn't see why Shannon took an opposing side. Right? Now, again, that's a tough situation, right? When that's your boy, but you also know he on some BS. And it's also a topic that's brought up to discuss on the debate show that you are a debater on. It's like you gotta keep it real. Not I mean you don't have to, but you want to keep it real and keep it true to your people. But at the same time, it's hard because that's your boy that you criticizing. You know what I'm saying? So it can be a very, very slippery slope. You know what I'm saying? You said he didn't. That's what you said. Ray went against Cap, but he didn't go against those cops. Okay, I got you. Ray and Jason Whitlock picked the Bible over the people. And see, Calvin, that's the issue for me. Again, I identify as a Christian, but I don't like when people like Ray and Jason Whitlock will throw black folks under the bus or let black folks get violated in the name of Christianity and say, well, we just supposed to just don't get mad about it. Just let it happen and just pray to God versus providing pushback against this negativity that's being thrown at black folks and to fight back against it. You can still pray about it, but you can also still use your mouth, use your cachet and your clout to speak out against it and to not be subservient to anti-black racism. Jason Whitlock chooses to be subservient, and Ray Lewis chose to be subservient in that situation with Colin Kaepernick, 100%. 100%. And then when he got called out about it, he leaned on the Bible to say, well, we just supposed to be Christian. And no, like listen, you could be Christian, but at the same time, you could still call out anti-black racism. I don't like when my fellow Christians try to get out of calling out racism and calling out horrendous acts against black folks by saying I'm a Christian, so I just pray. That's what a lot of white Christians do. That's what a lot of non-black Christians do in order to just get around not talking about important topics that are happening. You know what I mean? Just say I'm gonna just pray about it. Versus also you can pray, but also at the same time you can speak about, hey, this is not okay. This is not acceptable. This is not cool. You know what I mean? Um, Ray Lewis has Super Bowl wins back. Oh yeah, 100%. Tariq Nasheed and others said that ironically, Jason Whitlock and Jesse Lee Peterson used to be real black radicals. And that's probably the case, but they found out, like a lot of people do on YouTube, the money is in the grift. So if you really want to make some paper, a lot of them figure out, oh, let me become a grifter. Let me grift and let me act like I'm against black folks. Let me act like I'm anti-black. Let me spew anti-black rhetoric. Let me be this ultra conservative, and the checks will come flowing in. So it's possible that Jason Whitlock and Jesse Lee Peterson took the Cartier family route. They took the route of Candace Owens. They became grifters in order to build up an audience to make a lot of money because YouTube rewards anti-black racism. YouTube will push you in the algorithm if you speak in some anti-black conservative stuff, you know? And Charlie X, I saw him in there talking about what does this do for you? I knew he was gonna come up in there, man. Juice, what's happening with you, man? He said, Mills, what up, gang? Our boy Ray Lewis got beef with Shannon now. I could have sworn they was tight since the case Ray Lewis had back in the day. They were, Juice. So what happened was, Juice, I'm gonna give you a synopsis. Ray went on the Patrick Bet David show, and Patrick Bet David asked Ray Lewis about Shannon Sharpe's career. Did he foresee Shannon being on TV? Did he foresee him having his big career in broadcasting? Ray Lewis admittedly said yes, he did see that, right? And he said that Shannon was basically, he was planning to be on TV after he was done. And he could see Shannon was already putting the groundwork in to be on TV. But he said that he's not surprised at all, but he's shocked. And he's shocked because Shannon has become worldly now. He switched up, he's changed now in order to be for popularity. He switched out he basically indicated that Shannon low-key switched out his morals for popularity. And Patrick Bet David said, what do you mean by that? He said, well, when I knew Shannon, he didn't drink during his playing career ever. It was like being against his religion. And he was saying that now you can see Shannon Sharpe drinking. And to this day, I don't think Shannon Sharpe is a real drinker. I think he drinks to advertise that liquor that he sells. So he sips a little bit with the guest on Club Shay Shay, but I do not think Shannon is a real drinker for real. I think he just socially drinks now, and really not even socially. I think he drinks now to sell the liquor, because how can you sell a liquor to people when you don't drink and when you're not drinking it, right? But he basically said that because Shannon is worldly and he is godly, he has to separate him. He separated himself from Shannon because Shannon is trying to be worldly and of the world and trying to do worldly things to be popular, and he's chosen the route of God, right? Basically framing it as he basically framing it like Shannon is not of God and he is now, right? But that's not the genesis of their issue. That ain't why he separated from Shannon. He separated from Shannon because back in the day, not back in the day, when Colin Kaepernick first did that protest by taking a knee in the NFL, Ray Lewis spoke out against it. And he spoke out against it. This was during the beginning of Shannon Sharpe's FS1, his FS1 tenure doing Undisputed. And at that time, Shannon was red hot. I'm talking about hot as lava at the time. Shannon was, he was going viral every other day at the beginning of FS1, right? And Shannon called him out about it. He called his former teammate out about, being against Colin Kaepernick and basically, in so many words, shunning Colin Kaepernick for taking that stance. And he called Ray out for that. And then right after he called Ray out about it, Ray went and took a knee on the field, took both knees on the field with the players. And he said, he called Ray out about that. Like, Ray, how can you go against Colin Kaepernick and then you out there on both of your knees? And then he say, I bet you Ray is going to say he was praying. And Ray came out and said, I wasn't kneeling, I was praying. And Shannon called him out about that. Like, bro, come on, man. And so after that happened, Ray Lewis came on FS1 Undisputed, and he was visibly upset with Shannon. And their relationship has never been the same after that, right? And let me say this. They were super tight. When Ray Lewis got in trouble with that stabbing incident where that man got unalived, he was living with Shannon Sharpe at the time. Shannon was letting Ray stay with him because Ray needed that moral support. He needed that moral support. Shannon was taking Ray to court. He was the one taking Ray to court. He was riding with Ray all the way through and through. It's what happened was Shannon, by being on TV and being in a new position at FS1, they're going to talk about the hot topics. Whether that's your friend or not, they wanted to hear Shannon's opinion. That was one of the topics about Ray Lewis going against Colin Kaepernick. And Shannon spoke the truth about how he really felt, and he felt that Ray was wrong. Ray felt embarrassed about it because many people agreed with Shannon Sharpe, and Shannon was popular. So now Ray was in a position to get ridiculed and criticized, and it was coming from a former teammate that he was tight like this with. And he felt like, and Shannon's influence and reach was very big at the time, and he felt like, I guess he felt betrayed that Shannon went against him when he was going against Colin Kaepernick, when Shannon called it out. You know what I'm saying? And Shannon was very careful with his words. He was not trying to belittle his friend. He said, I love Ray. I love Ray. You know, but he spoke how he really felt about Ray going against Colin Kaepernick in that situation. And ultimately it caused him to lose a friend. Like my dog Clive say, Shannon lost a friend in this situation, but his credibility got boosted. And so that's why they've been at odds, y'all. That's why they've been at odds. It ain't nothing about Shannon Sharpe no longer, not being of God and he is of God. It ain't nothing like that at all. It's about the fact that Shannon Sharpe called out him going against Colin Kaepernick. That's all that was about. Let me see. Somebody Juan say Arch Manning all hype. So look, I ain't watched the game, Juan. I missed the game. But I saw the stats. My son wasn't feeling well. I missed the game, but I saw the stats. It was underwhelming on both sides. From what I hear, it was a sloppy game. So I guess we'll have to see what happens in the next game and see, what we have to see what Arch Manning is looking like the next game after that. Charlie X say, yeah, Arch tape didn't look great this game. We're gonna check out the next game after that, man. Now Clive say, Mac, that don't look good. Shannon telling us to indulge in something he doesn't do. And I agree with that. I would never sell a product to people that I'm against or I don't do, right? Now people like, yo, it's business. You got to make your money. Curtis 50 Cent Jackson sells liquor and he's not a liquor. He's not a liquor drinker at all. And he sell liquor to people. He was selling that liquor to folks for the longest of time, right? Me personally, yeah, people would look at me crazy because people know me and know I don't drink. So people would always look at me crazy for trying to sell some liquor. They'd be like, man, what the heck? Blue Boat, what's happening, Blue Boat? He said, what's cracking, man? Ray been on that good old shuck and jive since he beat that case. Yes. Yeah, he felt like he had to be on his best behavior and he had to switch up his whole entire MO after he beat that case. So now Ray is trying to act like he is of God and Shannon is not of God. And that's why they're not cool anymore. That's why he separated himself from Shannon. I don't like him trying to act like he's on a pedestal above Shannon and act like, he's in a different realm and Shannon is being worldly and all of that, like using the Bible and using Christianity to weaponize against Shannon. When at one point, Ray, Shannon was great moral support for you. You were staying with Shannon Sharpe when you got in trouble, when you was dealing with that case. Shannon was taking you to court. That was your boy, right? At one point, people was thinking you was going to go to jail. You was on trial for allegedly for unaliving a man. People say, hey, you had something to do with a man being unalived. So, and it's great that you got out of that situation. You should be thankful that you got out of that situation or whatever. But or came from up under that situation, I should say. But like, you don't act like you high and mighty and Shannon is just, he lost his way. Like, come on, bro. Because when he said that, the way he tried to frame it like he is of God and Shannon is not, I'm thinking to myself, not the way Ray talking, I hope he's in a committed relationship with a woman and he ain't being a freak of the week. Nah, Ray Lewis, not Ray Rice, Ray Lewis. Ray Rice, the one that put his hands on this girl. Now Ray Lewis, that's Ray Lewis. But I'm like, Ray was out here taking them down through there doing his playing career. So I'm like, I hope Ray ain't still a freak of the week talking like that now. You know, I hope that brother abstinent the way he talking right now, the way he talking. Glad you got to the truth. Ray and Shannon fell out after the kneeling. Yes, Jay Smooth. That's all it was about. It's not about no, you know, I am of God and he's not. And nah, bro. Y'all fell out after you went against Colin Kaepernick. Shannon was on FS1 Undisputed. It was the very beginning of Shannon's tenure at FS1 Undisputed, and he was red hot. Everything Shannon said was going viral. He spoke against you, calling Colin Kaepernick out. You felt the way about it because Shannon was popular and his voice carried for the world to hear. You felt embarrassed that your boy disagreed with you on a public platform and laid the groundwork for why you were wrong. And because Shannon laid out why Ray was wrong all the way around, right? And he framed it with love, though. But see, Ray ain't trying to hit it with love framing because he felt embarrassed by Shannon calling him out and telling him that he was wrong and why he was wrong. So he took offense, right? Then Ray Lewis got on a little bit after that. Ray Lewis, we see him on TV after he said he was against the kneeling. Ray on 2 knees on TV. And Shannon say, nah, Ray can't be saying that. He can't be going against Colin Kaepernick and then going out there doing that. And he said, but I bet you Ray finna say he was praying and he wasn't kneeling. And Ray for sure said he was praying. And then after that, Ray came on Undisputed. And he was pissed at Shannon about all of that, man. Blue Bolt say Ray showed his colors with that whole Colin Kaepernick thing. I bet he'd still be cool with Shannon if he took his side against Cap. 100%. Him and Shannon would still be thick as thieves if he took his side against Colin Kaepernick. He wouldn't care that Shannon sips some liquor, sips his Laportier liquor. He wouldn't care that Shannon, got in trouble with the girl from OnlyFans. He wouldn't care about none of it. He would still be thick as thieves with Shannon. He'd be still riding with Shannon all the way through and through. Only reason they ain't cool is because of that. And their relationship never recovered after that. That's it. That's all. He said Ray better not have a joint anymore. Right, because Ray was a freak of the week out here. Black people are multifaceted and not just a monolith. We're more sophisticated and can speak to a multitude of topics, and that's the advantage Shannon has over someone simple like Ray. Hey, did Ray Lewis, after all that, try and see if he can get the Ravens to give Colin Kaepernick a tryout with the team? Ray said he was trying to get Colin Kaepernick a tryout, but then he took it back because Nessa, Colin Kaepernick's wife, put up that picture of Ray Lewis. Was it Ray Lewis and Roger Goodell or something? Who was Ray Lewis? Like, you remember that scene from Django where Calvin Candy gets shot and Steven, played by Samuel Jackson, comes behind him holding him saying, Calvin. Nessa put up a picture. Nessa's Colin Kaepernick's wife. She put up a picture of that moment with Ray Lewis' head. Yes, it was what is his name? Bishotti? Who is the Baltimore Ravens owner? I said Bishotti. Who the Baltimore Ravens owner? Who was the Baltimore Ravens owner? Yes. It was a picture of Ray hugging up to the Baltimore Ravens owner. And Ray hated that. And Ray gonna say, Ray was like, I was a Steve Bishotti. It is Bishotti. Charlie X is right. Bishotti. Okay, so I had Bishotti, right? It was Bishotti. Steve Bishotti. Ray gonna say, I was gonna help Colin Kaepernick out, but then his girl, she put up that picture, so I ain't helping him out now. Ray, you was not finna help Colin Kaepernick. You was not finna help him. You was not finna help him, bro. Don't even sit up here and tell that lie. I don't believe that at all. You was not finna help that man. None whatsoever. That was just the time for you to say, I was gonna do that, but Nessa gave you the out. Truthfully. Nessa gave you the out, and now you're gonna say, well, I took the tryout. Now I'm not helping him now. You wasn't finna put that in motion regardless. Now, I love sports, but I love my people more. I'm glad Shannon spoke out against that buffoonery Ray was spewing. Yup. Oh, Colin's wife called him out. Yup. Colin's wife called him out, and he said, I took the tryout back. Devon deadly too. Black people are naturally organic and more versatile. Too many topic discussions. Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. Don't forget Michael Wilbon and Stephen A. Sunkenplace was also pulling a jive against Cap. Now I remember Stephen A. on the front lines pulling it against Cap. I'm trying to remember where Michael Wilbon, cause you know Mike Wilbon, he be straddling them lines too. But what did I'm trying to think, what did Michael Wilbon say? Did he fault Colin Kaepernick for not having a job? What did he do? I'm trying to remember what Mike Wilbon said. Said Mike Wilbon is lame for job. You know, Mike Wilbon love him some Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Mike Wilbon love him some Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Most old heads from Chicago in particular love him some Michael Jeffrey Jordan. I'll let Michael Jordan would have been in Colin Kaepernick's shoes. Mike Wilbon would have been standing on all 10 for Michael Jordan if Michael Jordan was pulling the Colin Kaepernick. Because you know Michael Wilbon is never going against Michael Jordan at all. At all. And I don't care to this day. I feel like a lot of them brothers, like Michael Wilbon now, they be feeling a way. It's particularly about LeBron James. About LeBron James feeling like he the greatest player of all time. And I feel like sometimes that's why some of them jazz be coming out. Because they cool with Michael Jordan and they feel like, how dare you? How dare LeBron say he the greatest of all time? But anyway, Cully said Mike Wilbon did an interview with Outkick once. I did not know that. So Cully, you enlightening me, bro. You enlightening me. But I remember Stephen A. like basically going against Colin Kaepernick on several different platforms. For real. Charlie X say, I do respect Shannon for also calling out Ray to his face on the show at first. When Ray was talking about keep the flag out of it. That is what he said, Charlie. Keep the flag. That's what that meant. Keep the flag out of Ray. When have you been so gung-ho about American flags like this? To answer y'all question, when he got in trouble with the law and when he got off. When he got from under that case, oh man, he acquiesced to the dominant society. And he was out here saying, oh no, don't keep that flag up, or keep the flag up out of it. When have you ever become so patriotic? I didn't know you was Mel Gibson in the goddamn the Patriot. I didn't know you was Mel Gibson in the Patriot. I didn't know you was just so gung-ho and so patriotic outside of the 4th of July, brother. Was MJ Juan said, was MJ stepping fetching for not speaking on certain issues? Nah, I mean, it ain't not speaking on certain issues. A lot of people didn't speak. It's when you speak against it. Would I have liked for Michael Jordan to speak out on some issues? Yes, I would have liked him to, but I'm not going to say he was stepping fetching for not speaking on certain issues. I'm not going to say that at all. But if he would have came out and would have spoke against black causes and against black protests and so on and so forth, then I would have called him out for it. But I don't like Mike being a fence straddler. Now I'm gonna say this: what I don't like, this is what I didn't like about Mike, where you can say this is some stepping fetches right here. When he donated money to when George Floyd was unalived by law enforcement, Mike donated some money to some black organizations. All good, all cool, that's great. But then he also donated money to the police after that. And I said, oh, this is Michael Jordan being afraid to offend people. This isn't being afraid to offend them white conservatives that love his dirty draws. Because what the hell do the police need with some more money? They're going to be riding around riding around causing havoc in Hellcats. Do they need some Hellcats? Or something like what? I don't know, man. I was just like, what do the police need some more money for? That was just him trying to be a fence straddler and not wanting to offend the white conservatives that love that nestle up under him and love his dirty draws. Jalen Rose used black people going crazy and acting a fool on them Jordan release lines as a tool against LeBron. Listen, I got LeBron James the second greatest basketball player to ever play, but I hate that argument. Oh, people run and love Michael Jordan's shoes, so how can you say LeBron is number one? Bro, people love Kyrie Irving shoes and Kevin Durant shoes more than they love LeBron James shoes. Is Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving better? Are they better basketball players than LeBron James? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Come on now. Like, let's be for real. So it's not the shoe argument. Michael Jordan got a flyer shoe than everybody else. Yes, I do believe his stature in the game helped sell his shoe and help make the shoe a mainstay, but he just got a flyer shoe than everybody. Just like Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, them got flyer shoes than LeBron James. That don't mean they better basketball players. Titanium Cranium say, man, he said, Mac, I used to always play Ray Lewis on Madden '05. Ray was on the cover, I think, of Madden '05. Ray was one of my favorite players of all time. I love Ray played that middle linebacker position like money. Again, this is a person in Chicago. Our middle linebacker was Brian Urlacher. And I tell Chicago Bear fans when they say, it's some Bear fans that try to act like Brian Urlacher was better than Ray Lewis or just excuse me, I'm sorry. There are some Chicago Bear fans who act like Brian Urlacher was better than Ray Lewis or act like him and Ray were on the same tier. They were not. Yes, Brian Urlacher is a Hall of Fame player. Yes, he was great. But Ray Lewis is up here and Brian Urlacher right there. I'm sorry. And I'm a Chicago Bear fan to the end of time. But Ray Lewis was something different. I got a lot of look. Brian Urlacher is a certified Hall of Famer, 100%. Urlacher and him is not the same thing. No. Charlie X said, based on that shoe logic, Penny was better than everybody. But Mike, he said, based on that shoe logic, Penny was better than everybody but Mike because his shoes was flying off the shelves. Right. Penny shoes is way colder than Shaq's shoes. Is he better? Is he a better player than Shaq? Absolutely not. He's not. No. It's not at all. Hold on 1 second. What it say? Chad Johnson got hit and sent to the sidelines. Coach said, you got hit. Chad said, yeah, I think Ray ran, or he said I ran into Ray or something. Yep. Shout out to Penny Hardaway, my fraternity brother, Penny Hardaway. Kappa Alpha Psi. You know, Kappa Alpha Psi got some cool brothers, man. Penny Hardaway, Colin Kaepernick, Wilt Chamberlain, Oscar Robertson, Bill Russell. Yeah, Shaq was 101, 100%. Shaq was 101. Does Penny still coach Memphis? Yeah, from what I know, he does. Yeah. From what I know, he still coaches Memphis. He got to get them boys rolling, though. Is Penny still a coach or is he out as a coach? Is Penny Hardaway still a coach at Memphis? Is he? Y'all looked it up because I said it like I knew it for a fact, and I don't know if I know that. I don't know that I know that for a fact, y'all. I said it like I just knew that off the top. Only way Penny will get them rolling is if he put him on Texas. Oh, hey, this man crazy. Clive is wild. You saying rolling, rolling, rolling. We ain't slept in weeks. Is you rolling? Is you rolling? That was a joint. That's that Gucci. I might be. Trick I might be. I remember I first heard that song. This was like the summer of like 2007. Like spring. This was the spring of 2007. I'm in the car with my cousin. My cousin playing ball at the University of Toledo. He came home and he dropped me off he was dropping me off at my pop's crib. This at the end of this getting close to the end of my 8th grade year. And that pills came on from Gucci. Fire. Rush said Ray Lewis is accused of unaliving somebody and had a problem with Colin Kaepernick. Yeah. And that's why Ray Lewis and Shannon really don't. That's why he don't talk to Shannon no more. No more. Because Shannon called him out about that. I feel like I know Stupid by Gucci. Stupid. I'm trying to remember. Gucci had a song called Vet Pass By. That was my song. Vet Pass By. Everybody looking. 6 stoves in the house and everybody cooking. Wrist like plow. Chain like owl. We throw it in the air and watch it come down. That was my joint. Hold on. Well, we're on the subject of Hardaway. Does anybody remember Tim Hardaway with the UTEP's 2-step? Absolutely, Stephen Truitt, Southside Chicago, Illinois' finest, bro. Tim Hardaway, he was just at my barbershop like a month ago. He wasn't there on the day that I was there, but my barber put it up on Instagram. Tim Hardaway was in there like twice recently. You know, Tim from Southside Chicago, like me. Crossover. Tim was nice. He was a great hooper for sure. Nice. Yeah, man. But I'm in my dog DG Yola. They had that I'm a dog. That's what the Q's stroll off that Omega Sci-Fi. I'm a dog, I'm a dog, I'm a dog, I'm a dog. And my man Yola came on that mug snapping. I got every type of women drooling on a player style because I smoked the fat. They smoked the thrax while I both black and mild. What's that? While they smoked he said I smoked the thrax while they both black and mild. I hit the club with Zay. We in the front. Shout out to the south side of the shop, but the west side is the best side. Juice, don't start Juice. He said, I got to give it to my Chicago brothers, man. Y'all represent tough. Steven, I swear we do. You know I'm Chicago all day. Every time somebody from Chicago, I'm going to say, you know they from Chicago, right? You know they're from Chicago. You know they from Chicago. Shout out Tim Hardaway, man. Tim, man. Yeah, Chicago has some really nice hoopers, man. Isaiah Thomas, Mark Aguirre, Juwan Howard, Derrick Rose, Anthony Davis, Jabari Parker. It's a lot of brothers that came from the city hoop. Antoine Walker. I bleed Mal Sauce for 100%. Both of your brothers are Kappas. Shout out to the new Stephen Truitt. Shout out to your brothers, man. The yellow teeth, dirty fingernail Gucci was incredible. Hey, man, that was when Gucci was dropping mixtapes on live mixtapes like twice a month. He had the Wilt Chamberlain mixtapes. He had a mixtape called Writing on the Wall. That's when Gucci had a song called Gorgeous. Gorgeous. All white voices and they gorgeous. I keep on hearing voices telling me to ball, so I keep on buying Porsches. My watch like a fortress. Gorgeous. All white voices and they gorgeous. Then he had the joint called Jewelry. This ain't even all my jewelry. This ain't even all my jewelry. Then he had a song on there with Nicole Ray called No Mirror. That's my joint. That's my women want my he's so handsome he don't need no mirror. That's the joint. A real street and don't need no mirror. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the freshest of them all? Gucci man, I got a ball. My closet like a shopping mall. And this one I was like a freshman in high school or sophomore. Summer 2008. So that was me going into my sophomore year. Juwan Howard from Chicago, South Side. Juwan Howard from the same neighborhood I went to elementary school in. Juwan Howard and Tony Allen from the same hood. So Tony Allen and Juwan, both Chicago, Illinois, Southside Chicago, Illinois, same neighborhood. I got a good one for y'all. Who is the greatest MC to ever come from Chicago? Greatest MC to ever come from Chicago, Illinois. I would have to say Lupe Fiasco, to be honest with you. Lupe, I'm gonna have to say Lupe. You say Twister or Common? You can't go wrong with either one of them either. They're up there. They are up there. They right up there with them, with Lupe. I got Lupe though. Lupe Fiasco. And then he said, I gotta admit, I didn't get into Gucci Mane all that much. I'm a lot older than y'all cats, man. My era is the 90s golden era. So you were listening to Souls of Mischief. You feel me? You were listening to where you put Do or Die. Do or Die is phenomenal. And y'all told me they shot a video to not somebody told me before, and I saw they shot a video to Do You. Do or Die, iconic, man. I love Do or Die. Whew. I mean, Chicago has some great, like Twister. First of all, I told y'all Twister's verse on Pope Pimp. That's got to be a top 20, top 15 verse of all time for me. Common, that beat album is so incredible. For real. Common been the man though. Common. Shoot. Crucial Conflict had the world on fire. And to this day, it's people that still don't know they from Chicago. That's the West Side though. Shout out to my dog. He said West Side the best side, man. Juice from out west. Do or Die, West Side Chicago. Twister, West Side Chicago. Yeah, we had some guys, man. We had some talent come through the crib, man. Had some talent come through here, man. I've been a big fan of Bump J. Bump J, they call it East Side, but it's really the Southeast Side. So yeah. Steven say he 47. Shout out to you, man. So Steven, you like close to the 8, like yeah, my uncles and them. But I told you my father is an older gentleman, so I got a brother that's like 2 years older than you, Steve. So you like the similar age to my uncles and my brother from my dad. My brother on my dad's side and my uncle, you about to close to their age. And on the day of the fight, Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford, I will be at my uncle's house for y'all to see how my uncles them get down on a night of boxing. During a big fight, y'all gonna hear the commentary. Y'all gonna see people coming in the camera, giving great analysis. Y'all gonna see people telling jokes. All of that. Cully, you listen to E-Day? Shout out. Rest in peace to E-Day, man. A lot of brothers that passed away during that drill scene. E-Day. I just seen Breezy just got locked up too. He was just on no jumper and then just got locked up in Pennsylvania for some RICO or something. Jabari say, shout out to all my West Siders from the shot. Hey, West Side up in here, man. Bum J and Kale's hooping. Yeah, Juan. You remember I told that story about R. Kelly hooping on the same team with Bum J? It was New York versus Chicago game. And it was when Simeon, the new Simeon school just got built, and R. Kelly was out there shooting every shot and he was missing. R. Kelly was like 7 or 8. He was like 8 for 35 that game. He was like 8 for 39 or 8 for 40. It was something crazy. He said, did Kales have a zip-up jersey? Yo, Kales was missing all the shots, and he kept shooting all ball. He was gunning. He was not passing. Dudes was just getting the rebound, passing it to him. He was shooting every shot. And he was not really making them shots. He was hitting the backboard, and he made about 8 shots out of 40. A good 8 out of 40. What's that percentage? What percentage is that? He said, no offense, crucial conflict wasn't it. Stephen Truitt, you ain't like, hey, Crucial Conflict got a record called Rodeo. To this day, if you play Rodeo at any Chicago party, it's gonna go up. Especially at the Chicago party where like a crowd of people that's 45 and older, 40 and older. If Rodeo played by Crucial Conflict at a party, it's finna go off. If you ain't never heard Rodeo by Crucial Conflict, that joint a bop. That joint is a bop. That's the song my mama then was partying to. He said Shaquille shot 5%. Hey, look, man, you crazy, man. But we'll shoot 100 at a high school dance. Said we got to send Mills some Uncle Remus, Jabari. Hey, look, you know my stepfather, God rest his soul, my mom's first husband, he passed away. That the first time I ever had Uncle Remus was with him because he lived out west. And so he was from out west. So we used to go visit his moms and them and go visit some of his people. He would always stop and we would get Uncle Remus, or he'd bring Uncle Remus back to the crib for all us to eat, you know? So yeah. He said Kels put up tour date numbers, facts. He had tour date numbers for real. I'm talking about 3 for 31. 3 for 31, 7 for 30, 7 for 30. One of them. He was out here. That's how he was shooting out there that day. Stephen Truitt say, I would be cool with your peoples. All Gen Xers stick together. That is a fact. My mama and them gonna have you at the parties listening to house music. Y'all gonna be in there, follow me, yeah, follow me. Y'all finna be up in there, is it all over my face? Is it all over my face? Y'all finna be up in there jamming. Y'all finna be in there. If you wanna ride, do, ride the white horse, white horse. Y'all finna be. I heard Kels used to have major hoop game. And he was missing all them shots. He was out there shooting like me that day, Stephen Truitt. The day I seen him play, he was shooting like me. I could never shoot. I could dribble. I could play in the post, but I could not shoot at all. I couldn't shoot, and my left hand was garbage. I played great defense though. I'm a rebound very well. I could dribble. I can play in the post. I could not shoot. I didn't have a left hand. You know what I'm saying? Niels, if there's one song you would play for anybody that is not familiar with Twister, what song would that be? Maybe Overdose, Adrenaline Rush. I would have to play Adrenaline Rush, Overdose. I had to play Feel So Good. Feel So, man, oof, it's a lot of woo. Feel So, I love Feel So Good. And it feels so good. And we kicking in the hood. Kill us all. Kill us all. Yes. Yes, yes, and yes. Twizzler got a lot of bangers, man. For real. I would tell people to really listen to that verse on Pope Pimp. I really think that's one of, and that's not his song, that's Do or Die song. But I really think that verse on Pope Pimp is like Chef's Kiss is an amazing verse for real. Amazing verse. And and to his credit, he's saying a lot in the song. He's staying on subject matter. He not rapping fast just to be rapping fast. He's rapping fast with a meaning. He's saying something while rapping fast. He's staying on subject. He's telling stories when he fast rapping. It all makes sense. Yeah, it sounds cohesive. Yeah, that verse on Pope Pimp definitely Kill Us All. It definitely went out, but Kill Us All 100%. 100%. And then for the emotions, let me play with your emotions. Said Mac, you look like you getting ready to check out. Man, bro, my eyes probably looking heavy. I've been up early, early. So my eyes probably looking a little heavy, my boy. But you know what I'm saying? And shout out, man. I said it before, man. Shout out my dog. My dog Tony came through on the Cash App, man. Showed a lot of love on the Cash App. I appreciate it, Tony. I appreciate you, Tony. So I remember when Twister first came out, man. What year was that? I was born in 93. So you know I don't remember at all, Steven. That crucial conflict reminds me of high school. Damn, it's such a nostalgic convo. Yeah. I'm big on nostalgia, Steven Truitt. I'm a sucker for it. Like earlier, I was talking about when my mama, she used to buy us VHS tapes of Disney movies, right? Whenever she got paid. And I remember having to rewind the movies when you about to watch it. Like putting it in the VCR and having to hit rewind so you can start it all the way from the beginning. Like that was really, really a thing, man. Like when DVD came out, people were so happy you didn't have to do that. That was like next level science, next level technology. Not having to rewind a movie and then skip to scenes with a menu with scene selections and stuff. Like that was just like that blew people's mind when it came out. Said Juice, what you ever thought of the Jay-Z? I definitely was messing with the Best of Both Worlds album. I was, man. Jigga Kelly not guilty. That was crazy. After he got off for stabbing Lance Rivera, and R. Kelly got off for being on the tape. Oh my God. They really had that joint guilty until proven innocent. You can charge me, but I'm not guilty. Like that. Tell me what you want from me. I'm not guilty. I said, oh my God. And look, my black folks just was jamming out to this. And I was like, look at this fool here. In retrospect, that is so wild to me. Knowing he was on a tape, knowing it was him, come out with a record talking about not guilty. You can charge me, but I'm not guilty. Kels, that was you on that tape, fam. That was you on there with that little girl. That yes, it was you. You just got off on some technicalities. And the girl parents saying it wasn't you, it wasn't her on the tape and all, it wasn't you and all that, whatever. But yeah, it's crazy. He said, you agree with Boosie? Nobody touching Kels in the verses. Yeah, man. I don't see nobody. It's hard. He got too many bangers, man. R. Kelly really has too much ammunition in the chamber and it comes to a verses. I really say Kanye. I mean, we ain't did rap against R&B though. I'm talking about like strictly like R&B type music. To wired earphones or wire. I'm a wired earphone type of guy, Cully. I like the wires, Cully. I'm a wired earphone type of guy. I'm always wired up. Always wired up. Said, damn, Bama is not it this year. What's the score of the game right now with Bama, man? What's the score? Yeah, Ryan Fest, Chicago too. He can rap. Just Ryan Fest didn't have the star quality of other individuals at all, but he could definitely rap though. He could rap 100%. He just didn't have the star power of a Kanye West or even a Common. You know what I'm saying? 24/7 who? Bama winning or losing? Bama winning or losing right now? Yeah, Ryan Fest didn't have the presence, personality. He didn't have the star power to be a mainstay for real, unfortunately. Even though he could rap, he just did not have that star power to be sold to an audience for real. And that's very unfortunate because he really can spit for real. But hey, y'all, man, I'm finna get off this thing, man. I appreciate y'all rocking with me for the time y'all was on here rocking with me, man. Appreciate everybody that made donations, whether it was in the Cash App or whether it came through the live stream. I appreciate it all. Thank y'all for rocking with me. We're gonna keep making this channel grow. We're gonna keep making this content. We're gonna keep talking about all different type of stuff. Got some sports videos coming, especially after football happened, especially after the Monday night game, Chicago Bears. So we got a lot to talk about pretty soon, man. I appreciate everybody that got on. Peace.